The Yu-Gi-Oh! Core Booster Set Doom of Dimensions has given us some new Black Rose support. Yeah, you heard me right. Akiza Izinski is getting new support in Doom of Dimensions, which that might just end up being the title of this video. And not gonna lie, this was something that honestly I don't think any of us had expected, because we know that the Black Rose archetype is a very unique strategy, to say the very least. But then again, Akiza is arguably one of, if not the most popular, Yugi girl, if you will. Excuse me, in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh anime franchise. So that speaks a lot of volume. But speaking of Akiza, we found out that Akiza Izinski and Crow Hogan are going to be the two characters that will be receiving their own structure deck, if you will, in the legendary 5Ds decks, which I predicted it. I 100% predicted that we could end up seeing Akiza and Crow get their new support, get their own deck, and I was right. We are going to be adding Akiza and Crow to the legendary 5Ds decks. So it is very possible that we could potentially see new support for both of them. And for Akiza, these five new cards, they could very may well be in that 5Ds set. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get straight into it, and we are going to kick things off with Violence Witch. Not Violet Witch, Violence Witch. And she is a 4-star dark plant with 1100 attack, 1200 defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads: if you control Black Rose Dragon, a monster that mentions it already plants Synchro, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second effect, if this card is sent to the grave and a Synchro monster is on the field, you can discard one card, special summon a plant with 1500 or less defense from your deck, and you cannot special summon from your extra deck for the rest of the turn except for Synchros. So that effect alone, that really doesn't really make much of a damn, considering that your whole extra deck for the most part is going to be Synchros, which includes Tech Genus Hyper Librarian. It'll also feature cards like I think I would potentially say maybe Splendid Rose as well. So you're definitely going to be seeing a lot of Synchros in the extra deck. But basically, all this is it's a Cyber Dragon, and you're able to special summon a plant with 1500 or less defense, which could potentially be a Lone Fire Blossom. It could be I think Witch of the Black Rose. I think she also has less than 1500 defense, so that's not bad. So it essentially is a Cyber Dragon Witch of the Black Forest, but for Black Rose, which is enough said. And also too, because that this is a Cyber Dragon, this can also be used as fodder for a rank 4 for a rank 4 as well. So you could potentially go into a Baguska, and your opponent wouldn't be able to do jack shit, because Baguska is a very annoying card to deal with, and I would know because I've went up against Baguska based decks on Master Duel quite a few times, and it ain't pretty. That's for damn sure. Next up, we've got Twilight Rose Black Knight. So this is basically the male version of Twilight Rose Knight, which actually he kind of looks badass. He actually looks badass. if you really look at him, he kind of looks like Dark Flare Knight in a way. If you really look at him, he kind of looks like Dark Flare Knight, which is very odd. Very odd, but really cool in a way. 3-star Dark Plant Tuner with 1,000 attack and defense. And the first and third effects are both once per turn. And the first effect reads, if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon a Black Rose Dragon or a level 4 or lower plant from your grave, but its effects are negated. Second effect reads, plant monsters you control gain 1,000 attack while you control a synchro. Third effect reads, you can target one of the plant monsters you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. So this is literally Monster Reborn. So this is Monster Reborn, Axe of Despair, and Saber Shark rolled in a 1. And what I mean by that is with this card's first effect, it acts as a Monster Reborn, meaning that you can summon Black Rose Dragon or any level 4 or lower plant from your graveyard. So that right there is the Monster Reborn. The second effect is literally ensures that all of your plant monsters gain 1,000 attack as long as you control a synchro. That right there is Axe of Despair, because if you equip Axe of Despair to a monster, it gains 1,000 attack. And then its third effect says that you can target one of the plant monster you control, and you get to increase or decrease its level by 1. Saber Shark does the exact same thing. You can target any fish on your board, and you can either increase or decrease its level by 1, which can help you go into a potential rank 3, rank 4, or a rank 5, or if you wanted to, you can also go into a potential rank 6 as well if you're able to do so. And Saber Shark's effect is a twice per turn, meaning you can actually use its effect twice, which is absolutely insane. Next up, we've got Bramble Rose Dragon. Yes, you heard me right. Black Rose Dragon just got an upgrade. But the question is, how big is that upgrade? Well, let's find out, shall we? 7-star Fire Plant Synchro with 2,400 attack, 1,800 defense, and requires a plant tuner and one or more non-tuners. The second and third effects are both once per turn. The first effect reads, each time your opponent activates a monster effect, inflict 600 damage to them when that effect resolves. And if you do, all face-up monsters they control lose 600 attack. Second effect reads, during the main phase as a quick effect, you contribute this card, special summon a Black Rose Dragon from your extra deck, which is treated as a synchro summon. Third effect reads, you can banish this card from your grave, special summon a level 4 or lower plant tuner from your grave. Okay, so this card's first effect is basically Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon on steroids. Like, 100%, it is nasty. So every time your opponent activates a monster effect, they get dealt 600 damage. Where as opposed to Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon, and I've used this I've been using that card, Flare Metal Dragon, quite a bit in my Harpy deck on Master Duel. The moment you summon Flare Metal Dragon, every time your opponent activates a card, no matter what it is, a monster, spell, trap, extra deck card, whatever, they get dealt 500 points of damage. That literally forces them to either use Effect Veiler, Dark Ruler No More, or simply just find a way to summon out a big beater without having to get dealt a lot of damage, which is nasty. This card, Bramble Rose Dragon, basically has that same ordeal with a slight restriction that it only focuses on monster effects. So anytime your opponent activates a monster effect, like say for example you activate I'll say Pot of Avarice, and your opponent chains Ash Blossom, but you have but you have Call By in hand, and you have Ghost Bell in hand. You could either chain Call By, or you can chain the effect of Bramble Rose Dragon, and the moment Ash Blossom's effect resolves, they get dealt 600 damage, which is pretty insane. And then with its second effect, you literally have, this card is basically, it is essentially a 1-card Black Rose Dragon summon, meaning that the moment Black Rose gets summoned, the whole board gets wiped clean. And especially if your opponent doesn't have any cards in hand, and they have no effects to activate in the graveyard, that this card's second effect will go very hard. It will just completely destroy it will completely pop the whole board, and your opponent would have no choice but to scoop, which is just absolutely nasty. And then its third effect, you're able to banish this card from your grave and summon pretty much any plant tuner from your grave that has 4 stars or less. And what's even more funny is that if you have Psyframe Lord Omega in your extra deck, and you're able to summon an L, you can bring during each of, I think it's your opponent's standby phases, you can take Bramble Rose Dragon, put it back into your graveyard, and you can use its third effect over and over again to completely set up your board, which is just absolutely nasty, very nasty, you guys. Crazy gameplay right there. Next up, we've got Hate Rose Witch. And also too, what's even more crazy is that the last time we got new support for Black Rose, it was all the way back in 2021, I want to say, somewhere in there, where we had the booster set Lightning Overdrive. In fact, I believe, let's see. Lightning Overdrive. So I believe that was a 2021 set? Yes, I was right. We got the booster set in the TCG on June 4th, 2021. So think about that, guys. 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago, you guys. Think about that. Think about that, guys. 4 years ago, we got new support for Black Rose, and now fast forward 4 years later, and we're getting more Black Rose support. Absolutely insane. Anyway, Hate Rose Witch, 6-star Dark Plant Synchro, 1600 attack, 2400 defense. It requires a tuner and 1 or more non-tuners, so pretty generic. The first and third effects are both once per turn. The first effect reads, if this card is synchro summon, you can send up to 2 plant monsters to the grave, 1 from your deck and 1 from your extra deck, and you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for synchros. Second effect reads, plant monsters you control cannot be destroyed by effects. Third effect reads, if a card on the field is destroyed by card effect while this card is in your grave, you can special summon this card. Okay, so interestingly enough, you can use this card in decks like such as Black Rose. You can use it in Trap Tricks decks. You can use it in the Sunvine, Sunseed decks. You can even also, as if you can, and also too, which would be very funny, if you're able to turn the deck into a synchro base deck. You could also use this card in Predaplants, because Predaplants is all plant. They're all plants. So interestingly enough, this card would be very broken in those decks, but it would be 10 times more broken if it was in Black Rose, which is insane. So it basically protects it. So this card can protect all of your plants from being destroyed by effects, and you're able to basically just double Fool's Burial cards to your graveyard, and then just pop off from there, which is insane. And also this card, if it gets destroyed by card effect, and you have I can't speak. I cannot speak, guys. I apologize. I cannot speak. For example, let's say that when this card gets sent to the grave, if a card like Black Garden got destroyed, and this card was in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your grave, and then if you have a way to bring back Black Garden, you can play that effect, bring Black Garden back, and now your opponent is just like, what the fuck do I do? Which is insane. But speaking of Black Garden, last card of the video is known as Black Rose Garden. You heard me right. Black Garden got a massive upgrade. But this time, instead of it being a field spell, it is a continuous spell. And the third effect is a once per turn. And the first effect reads, when this card resolves, you can add one Rose Dragon monster from your deck or grave to your hand. Second effect reads, face-up monsters on the field become plant monsters. Third effect reads, if this card is destroyed, inflict 100 damage to your opponent for each plant monster in your grave, and banishment. Then, if it was destroyed by the effect of Black Rose Dragon, inflict 2400 damage to them. So, think about this. If you were to combo this card with the original Black Garden, not only do you have a way to spam the board with tokens, but literally you're able to use those tokens, go into your link plays and into your synchro plays to where your graveyard and your banishment and your banish pile have a shit ton of plant monsters. So Black Rose Dragon's effect, which is completely decimate the entire board, dealing your opponent up to over 2,000 damage. Excuse me. And then dealing them an additional 2,400 damage, which even that alone is just insane. It's basically dealing double damage potentially to your opponent, making them realize, oh shit, I have nothing to go for it, so I scoop. That is how insane this card really is. The summon chant for Bramble Rose Dragon is as follow. Sorrowful flames pierce every inch of its of this abominable whirl. O thorns of hatred, bloom madly, synchro summon, reveal yourself, Bramble Rose Dragon. In Japanese, I'm literally going to butcher this, so I do apologize. But in Japanese, it says Kanshiki Hono ga imubeki Sekai no subete wo Suranaku Zoru no Ibara yo Kuruizake. Synchro summon Araware o Bramble Rose Dragon. Honestly, that was actually, I have to admit, that was actually pretty close. That was a close second with my ways of speaking Japanese. That's actually pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Yeah, that's the summon chant for Bramble Rose Dragon. Honestly, I'm actually kind of excited for the new support, because we could potentially see these new cards get printed in the Black Rose deck when the Legendary 5Ds decks come out in November. I believe we're supposed to be getting this set in, I believe sometime in November in the TCG. In fact, I believe Doom of Dimensions. Let's go Wikipedia. I believe in the TCG. So the TCG, we're supposed to be getting this. Oh, okay. So we are okay. So we're expected to get this in the OCG. This Saturday. We're supposed to be getting it this Saturday. So there's going to be a lot of cards to talk about. So that's going to be very interesting. But for us in the TCG, we're not expected to get this until September 26th. So that's going to be something. So tomorrow's video, there's going to be more cards to talk about. Can't wait for that. Honestly, I can honestly say that this booster set has become a very, very crazy set. And who knows, maybe we might end up seeing who knows, maybe we will see this in the 5Ds deck set, but we'll have to wait and see. But if this is the case, right? If the set does get released in the TCG in this coming year in September, we are expected to get these new cards printed in or rather reprinted in November. So that's definitely something to expect. If they don't get reprinted in that set, honestly, that would be a disaster, because Black Rose is seriously, it could be a very powerful strategy that can potentially help balance out the meta to where it can make its way into the current format. Because right now, Malice and Mitsurugi are the two most powerful decks in the format, and Konami is waiting until Worlds for the ban list, which I talked about that in yesterday's video. So if you haven't checked that out already, I recommend you guys check it out, because seriously, guys, it's one for the ages, definitely. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.